Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Yes, today's episode is a powerful one. We're talking about how to speak fast, speak clear, and speak real in English.
This is something many English learners want. They say, I want to sound like a native speaker. But sometimes it's hard, right?
Exactly. Some learners speak too slowly. Others try to speak fast, but they lose clarity. And some don't sound natural because they're thinking too much about grammar or pronunciation.
That's why today we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about when and how to speak fast, how to stay clear, and how to sound real and natural in everyday English.
We'll also share tips, small practice exercises, and a lot of encouragement. So, if you're someone who wants to speak English more confidently and naturally,
Then this episode is just for you.
let's get started. All right, Julia. Let's talk about the real problem. Why do so many English learners struggle when they hear fast, real English?
Great question. One big reason is listening. In school, many students learn slow and clear English, but in real life, people speak quickly, use slang, and connect words. It sounds very different.
Exactly. For example, in school you learn, "How are you?" But in real conversation, someone might say, "How are ya?" or "How you doing?"
And if you're not used to that, it sounds like a whole new language. Another reason is lack of real-world practice. Learners often study grammar or vocabulary, but don't practice listening or speaking with native speed.
Right. They might speak slowly and carefully, which is okay for beginners. But at some point, they need to level up and practice faster, real conversations.
Also, many learners are afraid of making mistakes, so they stop, think too much, and speak very slowly. That's not how natural English works.
Yes, real English is not perfect. Even native speakers pause, use filler words, or make small grammar mistakes. But they keep going. The goal is flow and connection, not perfection.
And finally, learners often don't know how to train their ears and mouths for fast English. They need to listen to native speakers, copy their rhythm, and practice speaking with speed and clarity.
We'll teach all of that today. But first, it's important to know, if you struggle to understand or speak fast English, you're not alone. It's normal, and you can improve with the right practice.
So true. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Okay, Julia. Now let's get into the first part of our topic. Speak fast. Should English learners try to speak fast?
Great question. I would say yes and no.
Haha, that sounds confusing. Can you explain?
Of course, speaking fast can be good because it helps you sound more fluent. But if you speak fast without control, it can sound messy. People may not understand you.
Exactly. Some learners try to copy native speed too early. They speak fast, but they lose pronunciation and grammar. The result? It's hard to understand them.
Yes, speaking fast is not the goal. The goal is speaking naturally. Fast speaking is part of natural English, but it comes after clarity and confidence.
Let's give an example. Say this slowly first. I'm going to go to the store. Now, say it faster. I'm gonna go to the store.
Nice, that's a good example. Native speakers say gonna instead of going to. It's faster but also natural and clear.
So the key is not just speaking fast, it's learning the rhythm, the connected speech, and the right expressions.
Right? And it's okay to start slow. If you're a beginner or still building confidence, focus on being clear and correct first.
Then, once you're comfortable, you can slowly increase your speed. Think of it like learning a song. First, you learn it slowly. Then, you sing it faster with feeling.
Beautiful example. So here's our simple rule for learners. Speak clearly first, then build speed with practice.
Yes, and remember, fast does not mean fluent. Fluent means natural, smooth, and easy to understand.
Exactly. So, should you speak fast? Eventually, yes, but only when you're ready with the right tools and lots of practice.
And we're here to help with that. Now let's talk about something just as important as speed: clarity. Julia, what does it mean to speak clearly in English?
Good question. Speaking clearly means that people can understand you easily. You don't have to speak slowly, but your words need to be pronounced well and with the right rhythm.
Exactly. And here's the key: clear does not mean robotic. Many learners try to pronounce every word perfectly, but it sounds unnatural. Like, I am going to the store.
Haha, yes. That sounds like a robot. It's too stiff. A clear speaker still connects words, uses natural tone, and sounds human. Like this: I'm going to the store. It's smooth, but every word is still easy to understand.
Yes. So, how can learners speak more clearly?
First, practice the sounds of English. Some sounds don't exist in other languages, like then, think, or this. If you don't practice them, they can be hard to hear or say.
Second, use the right stress and intonation. In English, we don't stress every word. We stress the important ones. For example, I'm going to the store. We stress store because it's the key word.
Yes. And we also need to be careful with word endings. Many learners drop the final sounds, like S or ed. But that can change the meaning. I walk and I walked are very different.
That's a big one. So remember, say your endings, even if you speak quickly. That helps you stay clear.
Another good idea is to record yourself. Speak a few sentences, then listen. Do you sound clear? Would a native speaker understand?
And don't be afraid to ask for feedback. If someone says, "Sorry, what did you say?" it might mean you need to slow down or open your mouth more when speaking.
Also, practice speaking in chunks, not word by word. Say it like this: Want to grab some coffee? That sounds real, smooth, and still clear.
So, to sum it up, clear speech means using good sounds, natural rhythm, and speaking with feeling, not like a robot.
And the best part? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be understood.
Exactly. Speak from your heart. Speak clearly. That's the real power of English. All right, Julia, we've talked about speaking fast and clear. Now, let's talk about something many learners wonder about: speaking real English. What does that mean exactly?
Great question, Jason. Speaking real English means speaking like real people do every day. Not just textbook English, but the language you hear in movies, on the street, and with friends.
Yes. Real English includes things like idioms, slang, contractions, and natural rhythms. For example, instead of saying, "I am going to do it," real people often say, "I'm gonna do it."
Exactly. Or instead of I do not know, people say I don't know, or even shorter, dunno.
Right. And real English is also about linking words together. Native speakers don't pause between every word. They connect sounds, like, "What do you want?" sounds like, "What you want?"
That's true. And it's not just about words. It's about emotion and rhythm. Real speakers use their voice to show feelings: excitement, surprise, doubt, or happiness.
For example, if someone asks you, "Are you coming?" and you want to say yes excitedly, you might say, "Yeah, for sure," with energy and a smile.
Yes, so speaking real English means you sound natural and comfortable. It's okay if you don't say everything perfectly or formally.
And the good news is, you can practice real English. Listen to native speakers in movies, podcasts, or music. Try to copy their style and expressions.
Also, don't be afraid to use contractions and everyday words. They make your speech more natural.
So, speaking real English is about being yourself, using natural expressions, and connecting with people.
That's right. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real.
Julia, now that we've talked about speaking fast, clear, and real, let's look at some common mistakes learners make when trying to do all three.
Great idea, Jason. Mistakes are part of learning, and knowing them helps us fix them faster.
First big mistake, speaking too slowly because of fear. Some learners think speaking slow means they'll be understood better.
True, but speaking too slow can sound unnatural and make conversations feel awkward. The fix? Try to find a comfortable middle speed, not too fast, not too slow.
Second mistake, losing clarity when speaking fast. People rush, mumble, or skip important sounds.
Right. For example, dropping the ending s or ed can confuse listeners, like saying he walk instead of he walks. The fix is to practice pronunciation and remember to say those endings clearly.
Third mistake, overthinking grammar while speaking. Learners get stuck trying to be perfect, and it slows them down.
Yes, the fix is to focus more on communication and meaning rather than perfect grammar. It's okay to make small mistakes.
Fourth mistake, not practicing enough with real English. Many learners only study from books and miss out on natural conversation.
Exactly. The fix? Listen to podcasts, watch shows, and speak with native speakers or friends. Real practice helps you learn real English.
Finally, a common mistake is fearing mistakes. Learners don't want to speak fast or real because they're afraid of being wrong.
And the fix is a simple mindset change. Mistakes are a sign you're learning. Don't be afraid. Keep speaking, keep improving.
So to recap, speak at a natural speed, keep clarity, don't overthink grammar, practice real English, and embrace mistakes.
Perfect. If you focus on these fixes, your speaking will improve fast.
All right, Julia, now it's time for a little practice. We want to help our listeners feel the difference between speed and clarity.
Yes, I love this part. Practice makes perfect, and doing it out loud really helps.
Here's the plan. I'll say a sentence slowly and clearly first. Then I'll say it faster, but still try to stay clear. Julia, you'll repeat after me. Listeners, join us.
Sounds fun. Let's do it.
Okay. First sentence. I am going to the park. Now, faster and more natural. I'm gonna go to the park. Your turn, Julia.
I'm gonna go to the park.
Nice! Listeners, say it too.
Let's try another one. Slow and clear. Can you help me with this? Faster and more natural. Can you help me with this?
Good. Your turn, Julia.
Can you help me with this?
Great! One more. Slow. What do you want to eat? Faster. What you want to eat?
What you want to eat?
Perfect. Listeners, keep practicing these at home. Try both slow and fast versions. Find your balance between speed and clarity.
Remember, don't rush too fast that people don't understand you. And don't be so slow you lose natural flow.
Exactly. Practice makes your English sound both clear and real. Julia, now let's share some effective techniques listeners can use to train themselves to speak fast, clear, and real.
Great! The first technique is shadowing. This means you listen to a native speaker and try to repeat what they say at the same time.
Right. Shadowing helps with rhythm, speed, and pronunciation all at once. You can use podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos.
The second technique is recording yourself. Speak on a topic or read a sentence, then listen. Notice where you can improve your clarity or speed.
Exactly. It's like being your own coach. You can compare your speech to native speakers and see the differences.
Third, practice linking words and contractions. Instead of saying every word clearly but slowly, connect words naturally like gonna instead of going to.
Fourth, use tongue twisters. They might sound funny, but they train your mouth muscles to move faster and clearer.
Yes, for example, try She sells seashells by the seashore. It's fun and useful.
And finally, practice speaking in chunks, groups of words instead of word by word. This makes your speech smoother and more natural.
Great tips. Remember, practice every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. Consistency is key.
Absolutely. The more you train, the more confident and natural you'll sound. Julia, before we finish, let's talk about something very important: mindset.
Yes, many learners get stuck because they fear making mistakes, but the truth is, mistakes are a natural part of learning.
Absolutely. When you're learning to speak fast, clear, and real English, it's normal to make errors. That's how you improve.
And here's the key. Don't try to be perfect. Be yourself. Your unique way of speaking is your strength.
Exactly. Real English isn't about sounding like a native speaker. It's about being confident and communicating your ideas clearly.
So, when you make a mistake, don't stress. Smile, learn, and keep going.
That positive mindset will help you speak more naturally and enjoy the process.
Remember, your English is your voice. Let it shine no matter what.
Wow, Julia, we covered a lot today, speaking fast, clear, and real. What's the big takeaway for our listeners?
The most important thing is to practice regularly and be patient with yourself. Speak clearly first, then add speed and natural style bit by bit.
Yes, and don't forget, making mistakes is part of learning. Every step forward is progress.
Absolutely. Keep listening to Real English, practice out loud, and enjoy the process. Your English will improve every day.
Remember, speaking English is about connecting with people and sharing your ideas confidently.
So keep speaking fast, clear, and real, and most importantly, keep being you.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We believe in you.
See you next time.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Thanks for joining us today. We're so glad you're here with us.
Today's topic is something many people struggle with, including us, and that is comparing yourself to others.
Oh yes, the comparison trap. It's so easy to fall into, right? We look at someone else's life, their job, their looks, their success, and suddenly we start feeling not good enough.
Exactly. It could be a friend, a coworker, or even someone on social media. And we begin to think, why am I not like them? Or, what's wrong with me?
But here's the truth. Everyone compares themselves to others at some point. It's part of being human. But if we do it too much, it can hurt our confidence and happiness.
That's right. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why we compare, how it affects us, and what we can do to stop it.
And don't worry, we're not here to judge you. We've been there too, and we'll even share some of our own stories along the way.
Our goal is simple: to help you focus more on yourself and build a better, happier life without comparison holding you back.
So grab your tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into this important conversation.
Let's begin with a question. Why do we compare ourselves to others in the first place?
So Jason, let's talk about that big question. Why do we compare ourselves to others?
Yeah, great question. I think one big reason is that it's natural. From a young age, we look around to see how we're doing. In school, we compare test scores. At work, we compare promotions or salaries. It's just something we've been taught without realizing it.
Right. And even at home, parents might say things like, "Look at your cousin, she studies so well," or "Why can't you be more like your brother?" So comparison starts early, even in childhood.
Exactly. It becomes part of how we measure ourselves by looking at other people.
And today, it's even worse because of social media. You open Instagram or TikTok and see people smiling, traveling, buying new things. And you start thinking, wow, their life is perfect. Mine is boring.
That's such a good point. But we forget one important thing. We're only seeing the highlight reel. People don't post their struggles, their stress, or their bad days. They only show the best parts.
Yes, and that makes us think they're always happy. I'm not. But in reality, they also have problems, we just don't see them.
Another reason we compare is because we want to feel better about ourselves. Sometimes we think, if I do better than that person, I'll feel good. But that's not real happiness. It's temporary and can make us feel worse later.
And sometimes, we don't even know we're doing it. It just happens in our minds. Like, look at her clothes, or he's so confident, I could never be like that.
Yes, comparison is quiet, but powerful. It happens in our thoughts all day. And if we don't notice it, it can hurt us without us knowing.
So true. But here's the good news. Once we understand why we compare, we can start changing the way we think.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do today, understand the comparison trap and find ways to step out of it.
So now that we know why we compare ourselves to others, let's talk about how this habit actually affects us. Because it does more damage than most people realize.
Yep, let's explore that next. So, Julia, now that we've talked about why we compare ourselves to others, let's get into something really important, how it affects us.
Yes. And honestly, comparison can affect our minds, our emotions, and even our actions. It's not just harmless thinking.
That's right. For example, when we compare ourselves and feel like we're not good enough, we often feel sad or frustrated. That can lead to low energy, even depression in some cases.
And also, it can create jealousy. We might feel jealous of someone else's life, job, or looks, and that feeling can grow stronger if we don't talk about it or understand it.
Exactly. And here's another one, self-doubt. We start thinking, maybe I'm not smart, or maybe I'll never succeed like that person. These thoughts hurt our confidence.
And when our confidence drops, we stop trying. We think, what's the point? I'll never be as good as them. So we stop learning, growing, or even doing things we used to enjoy.
Yes, I've seen that in myself, too. I once looked at another speaker who was doing great on YouTube. I started thinking, I'll never be like that. And for a few days, I stopped making videos. I just felt defeated.
I felt the same way. I once compared my speaking style to another teacher. She was super energetic and I felt quiet. I started to think maybe I wasn't good enough to teach.
But here's the truth. Comparison makes us forget our own strengths. We stop seeing what's special about us.
So true, and comparison can even damage relationships. Sometimes we feel competitive with friends or coworkers. We don't celebrate their success, we feel bad instead. That creates distance and misunderstandings.
Yes, and we may start judging others too, or judging ourselves too harshly. And all of this creates stress and pressure.
So when you think about it, comparison does not help us. It makes us feel less, not more.
Exactly. That's why we need to become aware of it and stop letting it control how we see ourselves.
Coming up next, let's share some personal stories, real moments when we compared ourselves and what we learned from it.
Yeah, that should be a great way to make it real and relatable. Let's go there next.
Okay, Jason, it's story time. I think sharing real moments helps people feel less alone. We've all compared ourselves at some point, right?
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, one of the biggest times I compared myself was back when I was starting my podcast. I saw other creators with thousands of followers, big microphones, perfect lighting.
Oh yes, I know that feeling already. Go on.
Yeah, and I thought, I'll never be like them. Why would anyone listen to me? I even considered giving up before I really started.
Wow. And look at you now inspiring people every week. That's powerful, Jason.
Thanks, Julia. What helped me was realizing that everyone starts somewhere. Those creators I looked up to, they also began with 0 followers, and probably felt nervous too.
That's such an important reminder. We only see their success, not their beginning.
Exactly. What about you? Have you ever struggled with comparison?
Yes, many times. But one that really stayed with me was during my university years. I had a classmate who always got top grades, spoke confidently in presentations, and just seemed perfect. I thought, why can't I be like her?
I can totally imagine that. What happened?
Well, I became quiet. I stopped speaking up in class. I thought, everyone will compare me to her anyway, so why bother? But then one day she came to me and said, I admire your writing so much. You explain ideas so clearly. I was shocked.
Wow, that's amazing. So she saw strength in you that you didn't even see yourself.
Exactly. That's when I realized we all have different talents. Just because someone is strong in one area doesn't mean I'm weak. I just have different strengths.
That's such a great lesson. Your story shows that comparison can blind us from our own gifts.
Yes, and once I focused more on my own growth, my confidence improved. I didn't need to be like her. I needed to be the best version of me.
That's powerful, Julia. So listeners, if you've ever felt like you're not enough because of someone else, remember, you don't know their full story, and they don't know yours.
Exactly. Everyone is fighting their own battles, even the people you think have it all together.
All right, coming up next, let's dive into this idea. Everyone's journey is different, and why it's so important to remember that. So, Julia, now let's talk about something that really helped me stop comparing myself to others, and that is this simple truth. Everyone's journey is different.
Yes, it sounds simple, but it's so powerful. We all have different lives, different goals, and different timing. There's no single right path for everyone.
Exactly. Just like in a marathon, some people run fast, some run slow, some take breaks. But the important thing is, they all move forward.
That's such a great example. And here's another one, flowers. Think about it. Roses, sunflowers, and tulips don't bloom at the same time, but they're all beautiful in their own way.
I love that. We don't look at a sunflower and say, "Why aren't you a rose?" Right? But we do that to ourselves all the time.
Yes, we do. We say things like, I'm 25, I should already have this job, or they're younger than me and already more successful. But life doesn't work like a race.
No, it doesn't. And sometimes we're growing in quiet ways that no one else can see. Maybe we're learning, healing, or preparing for something better.
Exactly. And just because someone reached a goal before you doesn't mean you won't reach yours. Your time will come.
You know what helped me a lot? Saying this to myself, I'm not behind. I'm on my own path. That really changed how I think.
That's a beautiful mindset, Jason, and it's true. If we all walk the same path, the world would be boring. Our differences make us unique.
So listeners, the next time you feel like you're not moving fast enough or not doing enough, remember, your journey is your own. Trust the process.
Yes, grow at your own pace. Celebrate your own progress. You're doing better than you think.
All right, up next, we're going to talk about one of the biggest sources of comparison in today's world, social media, and how it affects the way we see ourselves.
All right, Jason, now let's talk about something we all use every day. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they're fun, but they can really change how we see ourselves.
Totally. Social media can be helpful. We learn new things, connect with people, but if we're not careful, it can make us feel insecure.
Yes, we start scrolling and suddenly we see perfect bodies, luxury vacations, smiling couples, big houses, and we think, why isn't my life like that?
Right. But what we forget is people only post the highlights of their lives. They don't show their struggles, bad days, or doubts.
That's so true. A person may be smiling in a photo but crying when the camera is off. We just don't see the full picture.
And those perfect pictures are often filtered or edited. The skin looks smoother, the body looks thinner, the lighting is perfect. It's not real.
Exactly. But our brain sees those images and starts comparing, my skin doesn't look like that, or I'm not that successful, and that can hurt our self-esteem.
And here's another thing. We start measuring our worth by likes and followers. If a post doesn't get many likes, we feel like we're not good enough.
Yes, that's dangerous. Our value is not based on numbers on a screen. Real life is more important than social media.
So true. I think it's okay to enjoy social media, but we have to use it with awareness. Ask yourself, is this real? And how does this make me feel?
I love that. And if you notice that certain pages make you feel bad about yourself, it's okay to unfollow. Protect your mental space.
Exactly. Follow people who inspire you, not people who make you doubt yourself.
So, friends, remember what you see online is not the full story. You are more than what social media shows you.
Well said. Now, in the next part, we'll talk about how to take your focus away from others and bring it back to yourself. All right, Julia. So now that we've talked about how social media can affect us, let's go deeper. What if we stopped focusing on others and started focusing more on ourselves?
Yes, that's a big shift and a powerful one. When we always look outside, we miss what's happening inside us. But when we focus on ourselves, we can grow stronger, happier, and more confident.
Exactly. One of the best things I ever did was start asking myself simple questions like, what do I like? Or, what do I need right now? Instead of, what are they doing?
That's a great habit, and I think gratitude is another powerful way to focus on yourself. Try this. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can be small, like your morning coffee or a nice message from a friend.
Yes, gratitude helps us see what's already good in our lives. We stop chasing someone else's life and start appreciating our own.
Another tip, celebrate your own progress. Maybe you didn't run as fast as someone else, but you ran farther than last week. That's worth celebrating.
I love that. When we compare less and reflect more, we grow. We become more self-aware, and we stop needing other people's approval.
And don't forget, your journey is about you. Not your friends, not the people you follow, just you. You have your own timeline, your own path.
Yes, and when you focus on yourself, your life becomes more peaceful. You start creating, learning, and living for yourself, not for likes or praise.
So listeners, ask yourself today, what makes me feel alive? What do I want to improve for me?
Beautiful questions. In our next section, we're going to give you some practical tips, real actions you can take to help stop comparing and start living more freely.
So now that we've talked about focusing on yourself, let's give our listeners something super helpful, real, simple tips to stop comparing themselves to others.
Yes, let's make it practical. So here's the first tip. Practice gratitude every day. Like we said earlier, write down 3 things you're thankful for. When you focus on what you have, you stop wishing for what others have.
That's a powerful one. Here's another tip. Limit your time on social media. If you feel bad every time you scroll, it's a sign. Set a timer, take breaks, or even unfollow pages that make you feel less than.
Absolutely. And my next tip is, set personal goals based on your dreams, not someone else's. Ask yourself, what do I want? Maybe you want to learn a language, read more, or exercise. Don't choose goals just to impress others.
Yes, and here's another one. Celebrate your small wins. You finished a book? Great. You made it to the gym? Awesome. These things matter. Don't wait for big success to feel proud.
That's true. Progress is progress no matter how small. Another tip I love is talk kindly to yourself. Notice how you speak to yourself. Would you say those words to a friend? If not, don't say them to yourself.
I love that one. And here's a great mindset shift. Turn comparison into inspiration. If you see someone doing something amazing, ask, "What can I learn from them?" Instead of feeling jealous, feel motivated.
Yes, that small change in thinking can make a big difference. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," try saying, "Wow, that's cool. I want to grow too."
And here's one last tip. Spend time with people who lift you up. Be around people who support you, not people who make you feel like you're always behind.
So true. Positive people can help us see the good in ourselves even when we forget.
So let's do a quick recap of the tips. Practice gratitude. Limit social media. Set personal goals. Celebrate small wins. Use kind self-talk. Turn comparison into inspiration. Surround yourself with positive people.
Beautiful. These small actions really help you build a stronger, happier mindset, one that's focused on you, not on others.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to build your self-worth day by day. Little things that help you feel good about who you are.
All right, Julia, now that we've shared tips to stop comparing, let's go even deeper. Let's talk about how to build self-worth not just once, but every single day.
Yes, because self-worth isn't something we get from the outside, it's something we grow from within. And the good news is, you can build it with simple daily habits.
Exactly. One great habit is start your day with positive affirmations. Say something kind to yourself every morning, like, "I am enough," "I'm doing my best," or "I believe in myself."
Yes, even saying just one kind thing to yourself in the mirror can change your mood for the whole day.
Another habit is do things that make you feel good about who you are. It could be learning a new skill, helping someone, or spending time in nature, something that fills your heart.
That's a good one. And don't forget, celebrate your effort, not just results. You showed up, you tried, you stayed strong. That's amazing. Be proud of that.
Also, take care of your body. Sleep well, eat healthy, and move your body. When you feel good physically, it supports your self-worth too.
So true. And lastly, be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Everyone makes them. Don't be your own enemy, be your own friend.
Beautifully said. When we build self-worth daily, we don't need to compare ourselves anymore because we know who we are.
Exactly. Coming up next, we'll share a short motivational talk to remind you, you are enough, just as you are.
Julia, before we finish today's episode, I want to share a simple but important message with our listeners. You are enough.
Yes, Jason. It's easy to forget, especially when we compare ourselves to others. But the truth is, you don't have to change or be perfect to be valuable.
That's right. You are enough just as you are with your strengths, your mistakes, your dreams, and your story.
And remember, growth is a journey, not a race. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. You are moving forward.
So if you're listening today and feeling down because of comparison, take a deep breath. Say to yourself, I am enough. I am worthy.
Because you really are, and we believe in you.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep focusing on your own path and keep growing.
We'll see you in the next episode. Take care and remember, you are enough. All right, friends, we've covered a lot today about the comparison trap, why we do it, how it hurts us, and most importantly, how to stop it.
Yes, Julia. Remember, comparison is something many people experience, but it doesn't have to control your life.
Focus on your own journey, celebrate your small wins, practice gratitude, and be kind to yourself every day.
Also, don't forget to take breaks from social media when you need to, and surround yourself with people who support and encourage you.
We hope today's episode helped you see that you are unique and valuable just as you are.
Thanks so much for listening to Personal Growth Talks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with friends who might need to hear this message.
And we'd love to hear your stories too. You can reach out to us on social media or in the comments.
Until next time, keep growing, keep believing, and keep being you. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Today's topic is something very simple, but very useful. We're going to talk about how to talk about your day in English.
Yes, this is a really important skill. Whether you're chatting with a friend, texting someone, or even practicing by yourself, being able to describe your day is a great way to build your English fluency.
Exactly. And the good news is, talking about your day doesn't need big or difficult words. You can start with short, simple sentences like, I woke up at 7 a.m. or I went to work.
Right. Everyone has a daily routine. We all wake up, eat, go to work or school, and do something in the evening. So this topic is something you can practice every single day.
And the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Today, we'll help you learn useful vocabulary and sentence patterns to describe your day in clear, easy English.
We'll also do a role play later to show you how a real conversation sounds. So, if you want to speak more confidently in English, this episode is for you.
Let's get started. First, let's talk about the morning routine, the beginning of everyone's day. All right, let's start with the morning routine, the beginning of the day. Julia, how does your day usually begin?
Well, my day starts early. I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m., then I get out of bed and brush my teeth.
Nice! Those are great phrases. Let's slow down and repeat some of them so our listeners can learn. First one, wake up. I wake up at 6:30. Can you say that with us? Repeat after me. I wake up at 6:30.
Next is get out of bed. You can say, I get out of bed slowly or I get out of bed quickly. Repeat after me. I get out of bed.
Great! Then comes the bathroom routine. We usually say, brush my teeth, wash my face, take a shower.
For example, I brush my teeth at 7 o'clock, or I take a shower in the morning. These are easy, useful phrases you can say every day.
Now let's talk about breakfast. You can say, I eat breakfast at 7:30. I drink a cup of tea. I have toast and eggs.
Here's a short example. I wake up at 6:30, I brush my teeth. Then I eat breakfast and drink coffee. Simple, right?
Very simple. And listeners, you don't have to say everything perfectly. Just speak slowly and clearly. Try this. I wake up. I take a shower. I eat breakfast.
Nice and easy. Now, Jason, what do you usually do after breakfast?
After breakfast, I get dressed, then I check my phone and leave the house around 8 a.m.
More great phrases. Let's repeat. Get dressed. I get dressed after my shower. Check my phone. I check my phone for messages. Leave the house. I leave the house at 8 o'clock.
So, here's a full example. I wake up at 6:30. I take a shower. I get dressed. I eat breakfast. Then I leave the house at 8. That's a basic morning routine, and it's a great way to practice daily English.
And you, our listener, can do this too. After this episode, try to say your own morning routine in English. Use simple words, just like we did.
Exactly. And don't forget, repeating small sentences every day is one of the best ways to build confidence.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to describe your work or school day in simple English. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Now, let's talk about something many people do after their morning routine: going to work or school.
Yes, whether you're a student or working, this part of your day is important to talk about. So let's learn how to describe it in simple English.
Let's start with going to work. I can say, I go to work at 8:30. I take the bus to work. I arrive at work at 9 o'clock.
Or for students, I go to school at 7:30. I walk to school. My first class starts at 8.
That's right. Now let's slow it down for our listeners. Repeat after us. I go to work at 8:30. I take the bus. I start work at 9 o'clock.
And for students, I go to school. I walk to school. My class starts at 8.
Good job. Now, let's learn how to talk about what you do at work or in class. I might say, I answer emails, I have meetings, I write reports.
For students, you can say, I study math, I read books, I do homework.
Here's a simple example of a workday. I go to work at 8:30. I start work at 9. I answer emails and talk to customers.
And a student example. I go to school at 7:30. I have English class. I study science. I come home at 1 p.m.
These sentences are short, but they're powerful. You can talk about your day clearly and confidently.
Now, Jason, let's do a mini dialogue. I'll ask you about your workday, and you answer in simple sentences. Ready?
Let's do it!
What time do you go to work?
I go to work at 8:30.
How do you get there?
I drive my car.
What do you do at work?
I answer emails, join meetings, and help my team.
What time do you come home?
I come home at 5:30 p.m.
Great job. That's a simple way to talk about work. Now, listeners, try the same. You can write it down or say it out loud. What time do you go to work or school? How do you get there? What do you do during the day? When do you come home?
The more you talk about your day, the easier it gets. You don't need perfect grammar. Just speak clearly and keep it simple.
Next, we'll talk about meals and food talk because food is also a big part of our daily routine. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. Now let's talk about one of the best parts of the day. Food.
Yes, everyone eats, and it's very useful to know how to talk about meals in English, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Let's start with breakfast. I usually say, I eat breakfast at 7:30. I have eggs and toast. I drink coffee in the morning.
Nice. And I usually say, I have fruit and yogurt for breakfast. I drink green tea. You can also use the word have instead of eat. So you can say, I have breakfast or I eat breakfast. Both are okay.
Let's repeat together. I have breakfast at 7:30. I eat eggs and toast. I drink coffee.
Now let's talk about lunch. Jason, what do you usually eat for lunch?
I usually say, I eat lunch at 1 o'clock. I have rice, chicken, and salad.
Sounds delicious. I often say, I eat lunch with my coworkers. I have a sandwich and some juice.
Good phrases. And don't forget about dinner, the last meal of the day. You can say, I eat dinner at 7. I have pasta and vegetables. I drink water with my dinner.
Let's do a quick mini dialogue to show our listeners how it works. Mini dialogue example.
What do you eat for breakfast?
I usually eat fruit and toast, and you?
I eat eggs and drink coffee.
When do you have lunch?
Around 1 p.m., I have rice and vegetables.
See? Easy and natural. Listeners, you can practice this too. Say out loud what you eat for breakfast, when you eat lunch, what you have for dinner.
Talking about food is fun, and it's a great way to practice daily English. Next up, we'll learn how to talk about time phrases in your day, like in the morning and after lunch.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. In this part of the episode, we'll talk about something very useful: time phrases.
Yes, time phrases help you explain when something happens. They make your daily routine sound more complete.
Let's start with the basics. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night.
For example, I eat breakfast in the morning. I study in the afternoon. I watch TV in the evening. I sleep at night.
Let's say them slowly so our listeners can repeat. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night.
Good. Now let's look at time expressions with specific hours. We use at with clock times, at 7 a.m., at 3:30, at 9 p.m.
For example, I wake up at 6:30. I start work at 9 o'clock. I go to bed at 10:30.
Now here are a few more helpful phrases. Before lunch, after breakfast, in the middle of the day, late at night.
Let's use them in short sentences. I check my emails before lunch. I brush my teeth after breakfast. I take a break in the middle of the day. I read a book late at night.
Nice and simple. Listeners, let's do a quick quiz. If I say, I go for a walk in the evening, when do I walk?
That's right. In the evening, maybe around 6 or 7 p.m.
And if Jason says, I drink tea after lunch, when does he drink it?
Yes, after lunch, maybe around 2 or 3 p.m.
Time phrases help your sentences sound more natural. Try adding them when you talk about your day.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to describe your feelings and energy during the day. Are you tired in the morning? Do you feel happy after work?
Let's find out in the next section. Don't go away.
Welcome back. In this part of the episode, we're going to talk about something very real: how you feel during the day.
Yes, talking about your emotions and energy is important. It helps you express how your day really went.
Let's start with some common words to describe how you feel. For example, tired, happy, stressed, excited, bored.
Let's give some example sentences. I feel tired in the morning. I'm happy after my workout. I feel stressed before a big meeting.
Good. Let's pause and repeat those. I feel tired in the morning. I'm happy after lunch. I feel stressed before school.
And here are some words to describe your energy level. Full of energy. Low energy. Relaxed. Busy, calm.
Here's a quick example. I feel full of energy in the morning. I feel relaxed in the evening.
Jason, how do you usually feel after work?
I usually feel tired and sometimes stressed, but after dinner I feel calm.
Nice. I usually feel happy and relaxed when I go for a walk in the evening.
Listeners, you can try too. Think about your day and say something like, I feel sakkaints in the morning. I feel saktriantsaks after lunch. At night, I feel sakiwait.
Talking about your emotions helps you connect more in conversations. And don't worry, keep it simple.
Up next, we'll talk about how to describe your evening activities in English. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now it's time to talk about what many people enjoy the most: evening activities.
Yes, after work or school, we all like to relax. And there are many simple ways to describe what we do in the evening in English.
Let's go over some common evening activities. You can say, I watch TV. I read a book. I cook dinner. I go for a walk. I listen to music.
Let's say them slowly together so our listeners can repeat. I watch TV. I read a book. I cook dinner. I go for a walk. I listen to music.
Very nice. Here are a few more evening routines you might use. I clean the house. I talk with my family. I study English. I take a shower. I go to bed.
Jason, what do you usually do in the evening?
I usually cook dinner. Then I watch a movie or read a little. After that, I take a shower and go to bed around 10:30.
Sounds peaceful. I usually go for a walk, then listen to music or study something new. I love quiet evenings.
Let's help our listeners build a small paragraph. You can say something like, in the evening, I cook dinner. Then I watch TV. After that, I take a shower and go to bed.
Or for something more active, I go for a walk in the evening. Then I clean the house and talk with my family.
It's simple, but it sounds great. And it's real English. Listeners, after this episode, try to say your own evening routine. Use short and clear sentences.
Up next, we'll show you how to put everything together in a daily routine role play. It's going to be fun and very useful.
Stick around. We're just getting started. Welcome back. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts of the episode, role play.
Yes, in this section, we'll act out a simple daily routine conversation so you can hear how everything sounds in real life.
We'll speak slowly and clearly. And after the role play, we'll explain some of the key words and phrases. Role play, a simple daily routine.
Hey Jason, how was your day today?
Hi, Julia. It was good, thanks. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. Then I took a quick shower.
Nice. Did you eat breakfast?
Yes, I did. I had toast and coffee at around 7 a.m. After that, I got dressed and left the house at 8.
Did you drive to work?
Yes, I drove to work, and I arrived at 8:30. I had a few meetings in the morning and answered some emails.
Sounds busy. What did you do for lunch?
I had lunch with a friend. We went to a small restaurant. I ate rice and chicken. It was really good.
Yum. What did you do after lunch?
After lunch, I went back to work. I worked on a report until 5. Then I drove home.
And how was your evening?
Pretty relaxing. I cooked dinner, then I watched a movie. After that, I took a shower and now I feel ready for bed.
Sounds like a full day. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, listeners, now let's go over some useful parts of that role play.
One phrase was, I woke up at 6:30. You can change the time and use it every day. I woke up at 7. I woke up at 5:45.
Another one is, I had toast and coffee. That's a nice way to talk about your meal. You can also say, I had eggs. I had tea.
And when you talk about getting ready, you can say, I got dressed. I left the house. Simple but important phrases.
In the afternoon, we used, I had lunch with a friend. I worked on a report. Try saying these with your own details.
And don't forget about the evening. You can say, I cooked dinner. I watched a movie. I took a shower and went to bed.
So listeners, here's your challenge. After this episode, try to speak for 30 seconds about your own day using what you've learned. Just like our role play.
You can say it out loud, record yourself, or practice with a friend. Use short, clear sentences. You've got this.
Next, we'll share some helpful sentence starters and tips for building your own daily story. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now that you've heard the full role play, let's make it even easier for you to talk about your day with some simple sentence starters.
Yes, these short phrases can help you begin a sentence without thinking too much. Once you remember them, it becomes easier to speak smoothly.
Here are some of the most useful ones. I usually. Today, I. After that. Then I. At time, I. In the morning, afternoon, evening.
Let's give a quick example. I usually wake up at 7. Today I had breakfast at 8. Then I went to work.
Or, after lunch, I took a short walk. In the evening, I listened to music.
These starters help organize your story. Even if you're nervous, just begin with, today I or I usually, and keep going. One short sentence at a time.
Now, here are a few tips to help you speak more confidently. Think simple. Don't worry about big grammar rules. Just say basic sentences. Practice daily. Talk about your day every evening. Even 2 minutes helps. Record yourself. Use your phone and listen to how you sound. Repeat often. Repeat the same phrases each day to build confidence.
That's right. The more you repeat, the more natural it feels. Just like building a muscle, you're building your English muscle.
Coming up next, we'll share some easy ideas for how you can practice talking about your day at home or with a friend.
Stay tuned. Practical tips are on the way.
Welcome back. Now that you have some sentence starters and tips, let's talk about how you can practice speaking English about your day.
Yes, practice is the key to getting better. Here are some easy ideas you can try at home or with a friend.
First, try talking to yourself. It sounds funny, but it works. When you get home, say out loud what you did that day. Use simple sentences like, I woke up at 7. I ate breakfast. I went to work.
Second, if you have a friend or family member who speaks English, try having a short conversation with them. Ask each other questions like, what did you do today? And answer with your own story.
Third, you can record yourself on your phone. Listen and check if you can speak clearly and slowly. Then, try again. It's a great way to see your progress.
Finally, use apps or join online English groups where you can practice speaking with others. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Remember, don't worry about mistakes. Every sentence you say helps you get better.
Exactly. Keep practicing a little bit every day, and soon you'll feel more confident talking about your day in English.
Next, we have a fun listening quiz to test your skills. Don't miss it. Welcome back. Now it's time for a quick listening quiz to help you practice what you've learned today.
I'm going to say a short story about a person's day. Listen carefully, and then Jason will ask you a few questions.
Ready? Here we go. Short story. Maria wakes up at 7 a.m. She takes a shower and eats breakfast at 7:30. Then she leaves the house at 8. Maria works from 9 to 5. She eats lunch at 12 and drinks coffee in the afternoon. After work, she goes for a walk and cooks dinner at 7 p.m.
Great. Now, Jason, what's the first question?
Okay, question 1. What time does Maria wake up?
Question 2. When does Maria eat lunch?
And question 3. What does Maria do after work?
How did you do? You can listen again if you want to practice more.
Listening and repeating helps you improve quickly. Keep practicing.
Next, we'll finish with some final thoughts and motivation for your English learning journey.
We've reached the end of today's episode. Thanks so much for listening and practicing with us.
Remember, talking about your day in English is a great way to improve your speaking skills every single day.
Don't worry if you make mistakes. That's part of learning. What's important is to keep practicing and speaking as much as you can.
Try to speak about your day every evening, even just a few sentences. It builds your confidence and helps you use new words naturally.
And don't forget to listen to English podcasts, watch videos, and try to speak with friends or family. The more you use English, the faster you'll improve.
We believe in you. Every small step makes a big difference.
Thanks again for joining us on the English Learning Podcast. Next time, we'll explore more useful topics to help you speak English better.
Until then, keep practicing, stay positive, and have fun learning English.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're diving into a fascinating and often overlooked topic that can transform the way you communicate in English. It's all about body language, how you move, gesture, and express yourself without saying a word.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia, your co-host, and I couldn't agree more, Jason. Body language is such an important part of communication, and for English learners, it can make a huge difference in how confident and clear you come across. Sometimes, even if your words aren't perfect, your body language can help convey exactly what you mean.
Exactly, Julia. Research shows that a significant part of communication is nonverbal. Some even say it's over 70%. That's why mastering body language isn't just for actors or public speakers. It's for anyone who wants to connect and communicate effectively.
And what's great is that you don't need to be fluent in English to start using positive body language. It's something you can practice and improve alongside your language skills. Plus, it helps you feel more confident when speaking, which we know is a big challenge for many learners.
In today's episode, we'll cover everything from what body language is to common mistakes English learners make, and we'll give you practical tips to improve your body language and boost your communication skills.
That's right. By the end of this episode, you'll have a whole new set of tools to express yourself and connect with others in English, not just with words, but with how you present yourself.
So, let's get started. First, let's talk about what body language actually is and why it's such an important part of communication. All right, let's start with the basics. So, what is body language? Essentially, body language is the way we communicate without words. It includes gestures, facial expressions, posture, eye contact, and even how we move or position ourselves when we're talking.
Exactly, Jason. It's like the silent partner in every conversation. Even when you're not saying anything, your body is still talking. For example, a simple smile can show friendliness, while crossing your arms might make you look defensive or closed off.
That's a great point, Julia. And here's something interesting. Body language can actually change how people perceive your message. Imagine you're telling someone you're happy, but your face looks serious and your arms are crossed. Your body language is sending a completely different message from your words.
Right. That's why it's so important for English learners to understand this. If your body language matches your words, you'll seem more confident and believable. On the other hand, if your body language is off, people might get confused or even misunderstand you.
And body language isn't just about how others see you, it's also about how you feel. For example, standing up straight and making eye contact can actually make you feel more confident, even if you're nervous. It's like a little confidence hack.
Absolutely. And body language varies a lot depending on culture, which makes it even more interesting. In some cultures, direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, but in others, it might be seen as rude. For English learners, understanding these differences can help you adapt and communicate more effectively.
Great point, Julia. For instance, in English-speaking countries, things like a firm handshake or maintaining eye contact during a conversation are often seen as signs of confidence and respect. But for someone from a different background, these might feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable at first.
That's true, Jason. And here's the good news. Improving your body language is something you can practice, just like learning new English words or grammar rules. Once you're aware of how body language works, you can start using it to your advantage.
Exactly. And this is what makes body language such an important part of learning English. It helps bridge the gap between the words you're learning and the message you're trying to convey.
So, to sum it up, body language is all about using your face, hands, and movements to communicate effectively. When you combine good body language with your English skills, you'll feel more confident, and people will understand you better.
All right. Now that we know what body language is, let's talk about some common mistakes English learners make and how to avoid them. Now that we've covered what body language is, let's dive into some common mistakes English learners make when it comes to body language. Julia, why don't you start us off?
Sure, Jason. One of the most common mistakes I've noticed is avoiding eye contact. Many learners feel nervous when speaking English, so they tend to look down or away when talking. But in many English-speaking cultures, avoiding eye contact can make you seem unsure or even uninterested.
That's so true, Julia. Eye contact is like a silent way of saying, I'm confident and engaged. but I understand it can feel intimidating. What's a simple tip for improving this?
Start small. If direct eye contact feels too intense, try looking between the person's eyes or at their eyebrows. It gives the same impression without feeling overwhelming.
Great advice. Another common mistake is fidgeting too much. When learners are nervous, they might tap their fingers, play with their hair, or shift their weight from one foot to the other. These small actions can make you look distracted or anxious.
Exactly, Jason. Instead of fidgeting, try keeping your hands steady or using them for purposeful gestures. For example, using open hand movements can make you seem more approachable and confident.
Speaking of hand gestures, here's another mistake: overusing or misusing gestures. Some learners use big, dramatic gestures for every word, which can be distracting. Others might use gestures that are normal in their culture, but have a completely different meaning in English-speaking cultures.
Right. For instance, a thumbs up might mean something positive in one culture, but it could be offensive in another. The key is to use gestures naturally and in moderation, just enough to emphasize your words without overdoing it.
Good point, Julia. Another mistake I've seen is poor posture. Slouching or hunching over can make you look uninterested or lacking confidence, even if you're saying something important.
Yes, posture is so important. Standing or sitting up straight not only makes you look more confident, but it also helps your voice sound clearer and stronger. Plus, it shows that you're taking the conversation seriously.
Another big one is smiling too little or too much. Smiling is a universal way to show friendliness, but some learners either forget to smile because they're too focused on their words, or they smile constantly, which can seem unnatural.
That's true, Jason. A good rule of thumb is to smile when you're greeting someone, when you're listening, and when the situation calls for it. But don't force it. Let it come naturally.
Here's a subtle mistake that often goes unnoticed: standing too close or too far away. In English-speaking countries, there's usually a comfortable space between people during a conversation. Standing too close can feel invasive, while standing too far away can seem distant or disinterested.
Absolutely. A good guideline is to keep about an arm's length between you and the person you're speaking to. If you're not sure, just observe how others do it and follow their lead.
Another mistake learners make is not matching their facial expressions to their words. For example, saying, "I'm so happy to meet you," with a blank face can send mixed signals.
Yes, Jason. Your facial expressions should match the emotion behind your words. If you're excited, let your face show it. Practice in front of a mirror if it doesn't feel natural at first.
Finally, let's talk about crossed arms. This one is tricky because crossing your arms might just feel comfortable, but it can make you seem closed off or defensive in many cultures.
That's true. Instead, try keeping your arms relaxed at your sides or using open gestures to appear more welcoming and engaged.
So, to recap, the most common body language mistakes English learners make are avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, overusing gestures, poor posture, smiling inappropriately, standing at the wrong distance, mismatched facial expressions, and crossing arms.
And the best part? All of these can be improved with practice and awareness. Now let's move on to something more positive: how to use body language effectively to improve your English communication.
All right, now let's get into the practical stuff. How to use body language to improve your English communication. Julia, why is body language such a powerful tool for English learners?
Well, Jason, body language helps reinforce your message and makes your communication more engaging. Even if your vocabulary or grammar isn't perfect, strong body language can help you express your ideas clearly and confidently. It's like having a secret weapon to fill in the gaps in your language skills.
Absolutely. Let's break it down into some key strategies. First, let's talk about eye contact. We've already mentioned how important it is, but how can learners practice it?
A simple way to practice is by looking at yourself in the mirror while speaking. Imagine you're having a conversation with someone and try to maintain steady eye contact with your reflection. Another great method is practicing with a friend or even recording yourself speaking and checking how often you look directly at the camera.
That's great advice. Now, let's move on to gestures. Using your hands can make your speech more dynamic and help emphasize key points. But how can learners use gestures effectively without overdoing it?
Start small. Use open, natural hand movements that match the tone of what you're saying. For example, if you're explaining something big, you can spread your arms wide. If you're listing points, use your fingers to count. Just make sure your gestures feel purposeful, not random.
Another strategy is focusing on your posture. Standing or sitting up straight not only makes you look confident, but also helps your voice project better. Here's a quick tip. Imagine there's a string pulling you up from the top of your head.
I love that visualization, Jason. Good posture also shows that you're engaged in the conversation. If you're slouching or leaning too much, it can signal that you're bored or unsure.
Now, let's talk about facial expressions. Julia, how can learners ensure their face reflects what they're saying?
It's all about being aware of your emotions and letting them show naturally. For example, if you're happy, smile. If you're surprised, raise your eyebrows. You can practice by recording yourself reading a script or telling a story and checking if your expressions match your words.
That's a great tip. Another key element is mirroring. This means subtly copying the other person's body language to build rapport. How can learners use this technique?
Mirroring is simple. If the person you're speaking with leans slightly forward, you can do the same. If they use open hand gestures, you can mirror that too. Just be subtle so it feels natural, not forced.
Let's not forget about smiling. A genuine smile can instantly make you more approachable and create a positive connection. Julia, how can learners practice smiling naturally during conversations?
Try smiling when you say hello or introduce yourself. You can also practice smiling while speaking in front of a mirror. It might feel awkward at first, but over time it'll become a natural part of your communication.
Another important point is movement. Standing still can make you seem stiff, while moving too much can be distracting. What's a good balance, Julia?
Think of movement as a way to support your words. For example, take a small step forward when you're making an important point, or lean slightly back to show you're considering something. Keep your movements controlled and intentional.
Great! And let's touch on personal space. Maintaining the right distance can make your conversation more comfortable. What's a good rule of thumb for English learners?
Generally, an arm's length is a good starting point, but it depends on the situation and the person. If you're unsure, observe how others position themselves in similar settings and adjust accordingly.
Lastly, let's talk about using body language for storytelling. This is especially helpful in group settings or presentations. Julia, how can learners make their stories more engaging with body language?
Use your gestures to paint a picture. For example, if you're talking about a big idea, spread your arms wide. If you're describing something small, pinch your fingers together. Changing your tone and adding expressions can also bring your story to life.
So, to recap, you can use eye contact, gestures, posture, facial expressions, mirroring, smiling, purposeful movement, and storytelling techniques to enhance your communication. Practice these daily, and you'll see a big improvement.
Absolutely. Body language is such a powerful tool, and when you combine it with your growing English skills, you'll become a confident and effective communicator.
All right, let's wrap things up with some tips on how to practice body language daily. Stick with us. Now that we've covered how to use body language effectively, let's talk about practical ways to improve it. Julia, do you have any go-to exercises that learners can try to enhance their body language skills?
Absolutely, Jason. Let's start with one of my favorites, the mirror exercise. Stand in front of a mirror and practice speaking aloud for a few minutes. Pay attention to your facial expressions, gestures, and posture. This helps you see how others perceive you and makes you more aware of your body language.
That's a great one, Julia. Another powerful exercise is video recording. Set up your phone or camera and record yourself having a conversation or giving a short speech in English. Watch the video to analyze your body language. Are your gestures natural? Is your posture confident? Are you smiling enough?
I love that idea, Jason. Watching yourself on video can be eye-opening. Here's another exercise. Practice purposeful gestures. Pick a few simple gestures like pointing when making a strong point or using open hands to emphasize an idea. Practice these while speaking so they feel natural when you use them in real conversations.
That's such a practical tip. Another useful exercise is role-playing. Find a friend or language partner and role-play common situations, like introducing yourself or asking for directions. Focus on maintaining eye contact, smiling, and using appropriate gestures during the interaction.
Yes, role-playing is fantastic for building confidence. Here's one more. Posture drills. Stand with your back against a wall for a minute to feel what good posture is like. Then try to maintain that posture while speaking. This helps you project confidence and clarity.
That's a great one, Julia. And let's not forget about practicing eye contact. You can practice this even when you're not speaking. For example, when you're watching TV or videos, try to mimic the eye contact of the speakers. Or, when you're in a conversation, focus on looking into the other person's eyes for a few seconds at a time.
Definitely. Eye contact takes practice, but it makes such a difference. Here's a fun one. Body language charades. Practice expressing emotions or ideas using only your gestures and expressions. For example, try showing excited, confused, or curious without speaking. This helps you become more expressive and creative with your body language.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Julia. And for our listeners who want to refine their movement, I'd suggest walking exercises. Walk around a room while imagining you're presenting to an audience. Practice controlled, purposeful movements, like stepping forward when making a point or gesturing smoothly.
Such a great idea. One last exercise I'd recommend is feedback practice. Ask a friend, teacher, or family member to watch you speak and give feedback on your body language. Sometimes others notice things that we might not realize ourselves.
That's an excellent suggestion, Julia. Feedback helps you fine-tune your body language and become more confident. So, to summarize, you can enhance your body language skills with exercises like using a mirror, video recording, purposeful gestures, role-playing, posture drills, practicing eye contact, charades, walking exercises, and seeking feedback.
Exactly. The key is consistency. Just like learning English, improving your body language takes practice and time, but the results are so worth it.
Absolutely. With these exercises, you'll not only become a better communicator but also feel more confident in your English conversations.
All right, Jason, let's wrap things up with some final tips for combining body language and English skills.
Julia, we've talked a lot about how to use body language effectively, but let's take a step back. Why does body language matter so much when it comes to speaking English confidently?
That's a great question, Jason. Body language is like the unspoken part of communication. Research shows that over half of our communication is nonverbal, which means things like gestures, posture, and facial expressions are just as important as the words we say.
Exactly. When you combine strong body language with your spoken English, you appear more confident and engaging. And confidence plays a huge role in how others perceive your communication skills.
Right, Jason. Plus, when you use confident body language, you actually start to feel more confident yourself. For example, standing tall with open gestures can trick your brain into feeling less nervous, even if you're a little anxious about speaking English.
I love that point, Julia. Body language can also make up for any gaps in your language skills. If you're struggling to find the right word or phrase, your gestures and expressions can help convey your message.
Exactly, Jason. Let's not forget about the role body language plays in building connections. When you smile, maintain eye contact, or use open gestures, you create a sense of trust and approachability. This is especially important in conversations where English might not be your first language.
Great point. It's not just about looking confident, it's about making the person you're speaking with feel comfortable too. And when both people are at ease, the conversation flows much more naturally.
That's so true, Jason. Body language also helps you stand out in group settings. Imagine giving a presentation or answering a question in class. If your body language shows confidence, even if your English isn't perfect, people are more likely to focus on your message.
Absolutely, Julia. To sum it up, body language matters because it reinforces your words, boosts your confidence, builds trust, and helps you connect with others. It's an essential tool for any English learner who wants to communicate effectively.
Well said, Jason. When you align your body language with your spoken English, you're sending a clear, confident, and powerful message. And that's something every English learner should aim for.
Couldn't agree more, Julia. All right, up next, let's share some tips for putting everything we've discussed into practice. Stay tuned. Now, before we wrap up today's podcast, let's take a few questions from our listeners. Julia, I've got the first one here. It's from Maria in Brazil. She asks, I get very nervous when speaking English in front of others, and I feel my body language becomes awkward. What can I do to fix this?
Great question, Maria. First, know that feeling nervous is completely normal. One tip is to start small. Practice speaking English in front of a mirror or with a trusted friend. Pay attention to your posture and gestures. Also, try taking a few deep breaths before you speak. It helps relax your body and mind. The more you practice, the more natural your body language will become.
That's great advice, Julia. I have another question here from Ahmed in Egypt. He says, I find it hard to maintain eye contact when speaking in English. What should I do?
Ahmed, you're not alone. Many people struggle with this. Start by practicing eye contact in low-pressure situations, like with friends or family. A good trick is to look at the person's forehead or the space between their eyes if direct eye contact feels too intense. With practice, maintaining eye contact will become easier.
That's such a practical tip. Here's another question from Priya in India. She asks, what gestures should I avoid when speaking in English?
Great question, Priya. Avoid crossing your arms, which can make you look closed off. Also, try not to fidget or use repetitive movements like tapping your foot or playing with your hair, as they can be distracting. Finally, keep your gestures natural. Don't overdo it, or it might seem forced.
Good points, Julia. And remember, listeners, the key is to be aware of your body language, but not to stress over it. It's all about practice and making gradual improvements.
Exactly, Jason. And for those of you who sent in questions we didn't get to, we'll try to answer them in future episodes. Keep them coming.
Yes, we love hearing from you. All right, Julia, let's move on to the conclusion and wrap up today's podcast. All right, Julia, what a fantastic conversation we've had today about body language for English learners. Let's quickly recap what we covered.
Sure, Jason. We started by discussing what body language is and why it's so important for confident communication in English. Then we explored common body language mistakes and how to avoid them.
That's right. We also shared practical tips for using body language to enhance English communication and went over specific exercises to help listeners improve their nonverbal skills.
And we answered some great questions from our listeners about how to tackle challenges like nervousness, maintaining eye contact, and avoiding distracting gestures.
Exactly. Now, for our listeners, here's your challenge. This week, try one of the exercises we discussed, maybe the mirror exercise or practicing eye contact, and see how it affects your confidence when speaking English.
Yes, and remember, improving your body language takes practice, just like learning English. But with consistent effort, you'll see results.
If you found today's podcast helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing your favorite tip or any questions you have about body language or learning English.
And if you want more tips and lessons, be sure to check out our other podcasts in the playlist. We're here to help you on your English learning journey.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Until next time, keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, your body speaks as loudly as your words.
See you next time.